Why is it that a year after the breakup, you're still hung on that person? Why is it that you can't sleep? You're anxious. You are still crying. I asked myself this question almost a year after I broke free from my 7-year toxic relationship. And that's when I realized it was just 3 days before the actual anniversary. What I didn't know was that what I was experiencing was completely normal and would be what psychologists refer to as an emotional hangover. Here's what I want you to know. If you have gone through heartbreak and are still struggling emotionally, that's because our body processes emotional pain like it does physical pain. They are physical symptoms of the distress that we're reliving. Hi, my name is Petia and I'm a neurolinguistic programming coach. I help people identify limiting beliefs, overcome roadblocks, and create a specific actionable plan that helps them achieve their exact goals. Welcome to my channel. I want to talk about the effects of reliving the anniversary of the breakup. Let's get into what's actually happening in your body right now. When you go through trauma with a narcissist or a toxic person, your brain creates a snapshot of a danger memory. This triggers your alarm system. So on significant dates, such as a breakup date or a date you went on a big holiday trip, your body's alarm system goes off automatically and your stress hormones spike up by 30% because you feel anxious, exhausted, or very emotional, and it's seemingly out of nowhere. You might be wondering what's going on. There's no logical reason that I might be feeling like that. But here's the thing. You might not be conscious about it. You might not remember it in your memory in this very moment, but your body remembers it. You might have heard about the book, The Body Keeps the Score. It's not just the title of the book. It's the whole process that you go through when you haven't processed a trauma that has been stuck with you for a while. Think about this. Your memory works below awareness, conscious awareness. And this is the reason why you might be feeling terrible 1 to 3 days before the actual anniversary. Think of your alarm system like a loyal guard dog that got attacked once and now being triggered by a little thing that resembles the event, the dog goes crazy, barking, lunging, and you might be thinking, why is the dog overreacting? It's not, it's hypervigilant, it's desperately trying to protect you, that's why. Now let's talk about the 3 critical mistakes most people make when they're trying to get out of trauma. Mistake number 1 is thinking your way out of it. Here is why it doesn't work. If you're into affirmations or you thought that positive thinking will help, I don't blame you, because we get bombarded by think positive, have the, upbeat attitude. While it might help, it's like putting a band-aid on a wound. The wound still needs to heal, and positive thinking alone or repeating affirmations won't do the job, because we need to target the core. Research shows trauma isn't stored in your logical brain, so no matter how much logic, research, or affirmations you repeat, it's not gonna fix what is to be fixed, because trauma is stored in the body and the emotional brain. Also, your brain has 3 distinct parts that evolved at different times, and the newest part handles thinking and logic, while the oldest, more primitive part handles the emotional part. And trying to use logic to heal trauma is like trying to calm down a terrified child by giving them a lecture on safety. It does not work. What the child would need is comfort. What the child would need is a hug, which is basically regulation. Let's talk about mistake number 2. It's healing in isolation. Isolating yourself during moments of hardship is in a way normal, because we don't want to be seen as weak. We don't want to be too much for others. But here's the thing. People who try to recover alone take up to 40% longer on average. And through this, you don't have to go through this alone. You can get help, you can tell relatives, you can tell friends. In fact, it's better to share, because in order for you to truly heal, you need to spend time with people who are safe, who are calm. And you might have noticed how some people who you talk to are like a breath of fresh air. I have this one acquaintance, and I used to be hanging out with people, men in particular, who were emotionally unregulated. They would basically throw tantrums, and I would feel very on edge around them. I would be walking on eggshells, and it's what I was used to. I was used to chaos. So then some of my best friends tried to show me that there's another way things could be done, and that I don't have to be afraid, I don't have to be constantly on edge or nervous. They introduced me to some people from their circle who are really nice, down-to-earth people who are successful, have businesses and whatnot. One of them is a neighbor who lives in my neighborhood. So when I go and get lunch, I usually see him at the lunch bar, and I say hi, I speak with him. This person for me is like a breath of fresh air. That's the best way I can describe him, because whenever I speak with him, I can see he's a very serious guy. He is on his track, building his business, experimenting with new stuff. He's very polite, respectful. He's also funny. And the thing is, whenever I speak with him, I feel like I could be myself, I could be authentic, I am calm, I could share. I even feel inspired to act, because he says, experiment and have fun. And that's the best approach ever, since he is very down to earth, he is a nice person, and he's just calm. It rubs off on me. It's like a wave of calm washes over me. I'm serious. You may know a person like that. If you don't get discouraged, because you see, you can always meet new people. The idea here is that you need to share, and you need to spend time with people who are calmer. Whether it's your friends, acquaintances, doesn't matter. As long as your nervous system gets to interact with the nervous systems of people who are regulated, because it will regulate yours. That's how we work. We're social beings. And that's amazing, because it's very easy to implement in a way, or very doable. Mistake number 3, confusing addiction for love. So I've recently made a video on trauma bonding and why smart people stay in toxic relationships. And that's very much because of addiction, since whenever we are in toxic relationships, we are being reinforced. We have intermittent reinforcement of good behavior, pretty much like gambling. You get something, you get a reward, you then feel motivated, you feel on top of the world, you want to get that feeling again. Then you go looking for it, but you may not get it, but then you're used to getting it, sort of. So you're like, okay, let me try harder, let me try again and again and again, and it keeps you stuck. It's very intense, it feels like a roller coaster, which a normal relationship won't give you, because stability does not feel like that. But if you're not used to anything else, it's normal that you're drawn to this. So again, I don't blame you. Let's talk about the solution though. What is the solution to getting out of trauma and reliving trauma even a year after a breakup has occurred? The good news is that science-backed coaching solutions work. You have to understand this. Neural pathways in the brain can be rewired in weeks, not months or years. Research shows that targeted approach and interventions can create measurable outcomes and changes in as little as 21 days. These are some of the techniques I use in my coaching, and they work faster than traditional approaches because they target directly the emotional brain rather than just the logical ones. Also, these coaching techniques work just as effectively online. They use the natural's brain abilities to heal, regardless of the setting. Keep this in mind. Your brain creates over 1,400 new neurons every day through a process called neurogenesis. And this is where our power lies, because each neuron can form thousands of connections. So this means that your brain is literally designed to create new pathways that can help you heal from trauma. Those are new associations, new feelings, which lead to a new emotional state. Now let's talk about the 3 powerful techniques that I use with my clients that accelerate healing. Technique number 1, pattern interruption. When anxiety or flashbacks start to settle in, this technique immediately stops the cascade of stress hormones before they overtake your system. And in our coaching sessions, I teach you exactly how to implement this in your daily life for immediate relief. Technique number 2 is timeline reprocessing, and it's very powerful because it targets how traumatic memories are stored in your brain. We don't deal with the content of the traumatic memory, we deal with the structure. So every time you remember something, your brain actually rebuilds that memory from scratch. This is when we interrupt it and we take advantage of it. So we can update the painful memories with your current state of safety and perspective. Technique number 3, state anchoring. This technique gives you instant access to calm, confident emotional states, even in triggering situations, especially in triggering situations. So the thing is that your brain can't tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. And we can take advantage of that because we will create powerful resources that you can use anytime you need. So what does this mean for you right now if you're still struggling a year or more after a breakup? It means that when people tell you to just move on already, they don't understand how trauma works. It means flashbacks, nightmares, and anxiety attacks aren't signs that you're weak. They're signs that you're human, and it's your brain's normal response to abnormal treatment. And most importantly, it means there's a clear path forward based on how your brain actually works. Using EMDR therapy and neuro-linguistic programming coaching changed everything for me when I was going through the withdrawal and through the flashbacks of the 1-year anniversary breakup. I just want to say this. If you're ready to stop feeling broken, if you're ready to start healing, feel free to look at the description below this video. I have left a link to my website and my calendar where I offer a 30-minute discovery call where we will discuss your specific situation and if I can help you. Bear in mind that this is a no strings attached call where you will receive valuable insights, regardless if we decide to work together or not. My aim is to help you get through trauma in the best possible way and to empower you so you see your internal resources and can heal properly and for the long term. Drop a comment below with how long it has been since your breakup and the number 1 symptom that you're struggling with, whether it's insomnia, anxiety, or anything else. I'll share personalized coaching advice to give you some tips and help you in your specific situation. If this video resonates with you, please hit the subscribe button and join my channel for more tips on how to heal from toxic relationships and trauma. I post new videos every other week with practical techniques from my coaching programs, my personal experience, and what works best for my clients. Remember, healing isn't about time passing. It's about what you do with that time. Your brain is designed to heal. It just needs the right guidance. I'll see you in the comments or in my 30-minute discovery call. Until then, know that I believe in you. You're strong and more capable than you think.